your path, your lessons, and your growth, not theirs. You can't live to please others.
Wherever you go, I'll get you by wherever you go. Good life.
Hey, what's going on? It's Jsean for another Jsean Speaks. Today I wanted to bring up a topic that most of y'all probably experienced sometime in your life. Stop living for others' approval and just be yourself. Follow your path. Before I start, I wanted to say that no, this is not to be taken as advice to be defiant and never to listen to friends or family. This is just about discovering yourself and your potential. It doesn't mean you can't or won't be successful by not following your path. I'm simply saying that you'll unlock something within yourself that doing it for others simply can't do. This content isn't just for one thing either. It could be for small things. As long as you do you and everything that you do, everything will work itself out. Just be patient. I eventually turned this channel to a review channel and slowly realized it's not exactly what I wanted. I still like doing reviews, but it's not exactly the way that I was doing it that I was satisfied. It was something internal within myself. Now, it could have had the potential to grow further than me doing something like this, but see, this is natural to me, and I'd rather succeed in this way because it's me, and if you don't want to listen or follow me for me being me, then, what's the point? So back to the actual content of today's video. The first step is simply but boldly being yourself, fully accepting who you are. It's your choice. You're free to make this decision. You can't always live and reach your true potential if you're doing it for the wrong reasons or for somebody else. You'll run across strangers, family, and even friends who'll talk you out of something that you have your mindset on. Now, being helpful and insightful is one thing, but to gain your own experience, it's another. It's priceless. We all need to grow at some point on our own. I know it's wise to learn from other people's mistakes, but the best and simplest way I can explain it to you is like this. So when you have a child, you may have been like me. I was super protective, worried about his safety because he was my first child I ever had no experience. So having a child, you go through this growing process where the child is going to attempt to walk. It starts with keeping their heads up on their own, or rolling over on their own, crawling on their own, and eventually standing up on their own. Now during this time, the child will stand and fall over and over again. The next step would be to actually try to take a step or two forward. But see, then it happens again. Take a step and fall, and it happens over and over again. See, because I've been through this already, I'm thinking I should guide him to avoid these situations so I know he can get into and protect him, make sure that he doesn't hurt himself when he falls. So that's exactly what I do. So even though it didn't feel like it at the time, I was actually overprotecting him, and by doing so, I actually slowed down his progress. When people give you advice, it may come from a good place just like that, but sometimes it will resonate with you, and at that point, you should probably take it under heavy consideration. But see, there will be other times where it doesn't. These are the times that I'm speaking of. So back to my example. I always held his hand, helped him stand up, protected him from falling, and so on. I felt like I knew what was better for him. See, ultimately, I wanted the same thing that he wanted. I wanted him to walk on his own, just like he did. The difference is the way we wanted to go about it. Nobody needs to tell a child to walk. It's a natural process that happens. I interfered with that process thinking I could help, but it actually didn't. See, as a parent, a friend, or even a family member, sometimes we're just trying to look out for you, protect you. Ultimately, we want you to succeed as well. The difference is how we go about it. What we don't realize is that we're actually hindering your growth and not helping you in situations like this. When you make life decisions, nobody but you and God need to understand why. Being talked out of those decisions is due to other people's insecurities or how they picture how you should be. Now, if you say that out loud a few times to yourself, you can hear how that doesn't even make sense. They don't have that right, and if you're not confident in your decisions, then you'll easily be persuaded out of it. This is when regret will form within you at a later time, and the regret of losing time, the regret of not knowing what could have been or should have been. See, that's your journey. Now, there will be some situations where people will misguide you on purpose just to hinder you, but see, that's for another Jsean Speaks. But if you've ever watched the Animal Planet or something like that, you'll see animals being born, attempting to stand up, attempting to fly, head towards the water, and so on, all on their own. It's their natural instinct. Everything on this earth is of design. Yes, the animals guide their young because they already know what their destiny and purpose is for that particular animal. As people, as humans, we're all different. Different personalities, different tastes, style, looks, goals, and different speeds to our different dreams. Think of it like this. You ever seen the movie The Matrix? I'm pretty sure you have. I think everybody has at this point. But if you haven't, go ahead and check it out and kind of look deeper into what you just see besides the cool graphics. See, because Neo, he was always the one. Morpheus, he gave him a choice. Key word is choice. And then from that choice, Neo made his choice and unlocked his true potential. When he stopped trying to be something he wasn't, that's when it all happened. See, he always knew something wasn't quite right. When he made that choice with Morpheus, he let go and just let be. In a spiritual sense, you could say you let go and let God. See, he discovered his true self. Well, we need to do the same in so many ways in our own lives. We have to understand that when we do things or even make mistakes, it's simply because that's simply the level that we're currently on in life. Don't press yourself. Be patient. Just always be willing and wanting to grow and level up on your own. Now, remember what I just said. It's simple because it's a level that we are currently on in life, in your life. If you keep making the same mistakes over and over and you just don't learn from them, then you just haven't passed that certain level of understanding in your life. We as humans learn differently, at different speeds too. Be patient, but you actually need to want to level up from these mistakes for you to actually level up from these mistakes. Because when you want something, you'll have a different view, attention, and energy and overall perspective than if you didn't care. So there's definitely times to consider someone's suggestions though, but there still may be times where you recognize how those suggestions actually make sense for you, but just not at that present time and level of your understanding that you're currently on. So remember, we're still growing. It's at our speed, not someone else's. That's the problem in today's society, in today's world. Everything's a competition or a race. There is no competition. It's just within yourself. They always aim to get first place, second place, or third place, but nobody teaches this. Nobody teaches how to lose. We need to be humble. Be at competition with yourself and grow. Be at competition for sport, not for leveling up within yourself as a person. Some or many may disagree or not understand, but it's not meant for them to understand because it's your life, your path, your lessons, and your growth, not theirs. You can't live to please others. It's the same reason why I say do everything at top level, your top level. I also say you're in no competition with anyone except yourself. Now, if you're at an interview and you're normally a class clown, it may not be appropriate to start cracking jokes or be super loud because it's just not the time or the place. You shouldn't have the attitude of, well, I'm just being myself. I'm being at my top level. No, see, there's a time and place for everything. And while you should always be yourself in situations where it wouldn't be considered appropriate, would boil down to something really simple. It's called respect. Respect where you are. Respect who you may be talking to or your purpose of the conversation or your presence. That's how you can understand where you stand in a circumstance such as that. That's not living for others or being fake to your true self or anything like that. That's called being respectful, mindful. There's definitely a difference. If you feel the need to be someone you're not around your so-called friends, or you may need basically new friends. Friends should accept you the way you are. Friends are meant to have similar interests, but not necessarily do things exactly the same. When giving advice, it generally comes from their personal experience. Remember, take it into consideration, and if it applies to you, then apply it. But don't forget that advice probably came from their personal experience. You're different. Circumstances are different, or maybe the same or similar, but you yourself, you're different. That one part of the equation could equal an entirely different result. And on that note, I'm not here to hinder or tell you what to do. As I always say, do everything at top level, at your top level. And remember, you're in no competition with anyone except yourself. So make sure your next move is your best move, or at least your better move. If you're interested in something like this, what I'm wearing, and wanted one for yourself or simply to support, visit www.toplevelclothingstore.com. Until next time, stay positive.